Hello, this is Ahura, and we'll be with you with the global economic outlook in the week ahead, which is going to be the week number 41 in 2025. As always, first let's check what we had previous week, and then we can go forward and check the week ahead. Last week, we had somehow the busy week with the economic data, while uh, economic changes, but not listed in economic data also moved the market, especially the U.S. government shutdown. Let's start. It's not just only the economic event. We can say that economic and political uh, tensions or something like that. Let's start with the data. On the economic calendar, the most important data which published it was the PMI numbers. Manufacturing service sectors PMIs published last week and the week before that. Generally, data showed that manufacturing sector, especially in most developed economies, is under pressure. Even thought in the United States, that even thought it's still above 50 expansions area, but it's under pressure. In United Kingdom, for the seventh consecutive month, still it's under 50 expansions area. In Eurozone, also it's the same. Manufacturing sector still struggling. In China, but on the other hand, we have some slightly better than expected data showed that the Chinese economy is slightly moving forward. Don't forget that the Chinese national holiday started from October 1st to October 7th, also continuing still, and it can affect the economic activities. As you know, we will, especially the service sector, with the holidays, with the hotels, restaurants, probably retail sales affecting from these holidays. That's why generally we expect to see a little bit better than expected and better than compared with the previous months, better the economic data for October. Generally, we are positive about slightly again. We became a little slightly positive about the Chinese economy in the months. In this month, you can also read the monthly outlook in the website. You can see you would probably be able to see the slightly better economic activities in October and in this starting from this week. While in China, while in other economies, especially in Europe, still the economic activities and especially in the manufacturing sector is still under pressure and struggling. In the United States, the labor market data, we had part of that. GLT showed slightly better than expected and compared with the previous month, better data showing the more job opportunities, while the CB consumer confidence, on the other hand, slightly eased and manufacturing sector slightly also eased, but above 50 expansions area as mentioned. However, other economic data, other labor market data such as initial and continuing jobless claims, while and also NFP numbers, they didn't publish due to the government shutdown. The government shutdown in the United States is it is political event, it's political tension, but since it's affecting directly the economy, we can say that we can call that the economic tension as well, because especially as we now, especially if you know that the tensions is about the budget and everything is about mostly about the economic. Anyway, I don't think that is going to continue so for like longer than next 2-3 days, but probably we're going to have we will see that they're going to get to some point on Monday or Tuesday, most probably, and we will have the NFP numbers next week. After previous week's ADP data showed that the 53,000 jobs we lost in the United States last month, probably the NFP numbers also wouldn't be too much bright. Market expecting around 29-30,000 newly created jobs, and unemployment rate stay at 4.3%. Don't forget, this government shutdown wouldn't affect the unemployment rate because these guys that they are not working right now, they are not unemployed. They are just it's like in a pausing time for the short term with no salary. So it's going to affect. However, don't forget that if that lasts longer, as Mr. Trump, the U.S. president, treating the Democrats, probably they can go probably forward and do what the Doge wanted to do and just like lay out some of government employees, which is couldn't be too much good for the Democrats, especially. That's why probably the Democrats can get to some point and five, or at least if we have 5 or 6 more senators from the Democrats to support the Republican, probably they can go further and get this law done. Anyway, get this budget done. The budget, yes, about the budget bill for the short term at least. Anyway, this is what's going on in the market. Don't forget how the geopolitical tensions, Russian and Ukrainian tensions still continuing, especially with the Russian tensions with the Europeans and also in the Middle East. But we have some positive data while the Palestinian Hamas accepted the President Trump's peace agreement. And so yeah, so we have to wait and see what's going on. Israel somehow they announced that they paused their military action in Gaza, and probably we can see some peace there. Hope we can see finally some peace in Gaza. Our prayer is for people there, for all the people which is living in those areas to have better life, at least in the future, and get rid of terrorists. On the economic calendar and in the week ahead, we will not have too much data to watch. We're going to have on Wednesday, we will have the Reserve Bank of Australia's monetary policy meeting where we are expecting 25 basis point rate cut. And at the same day later, we're going to have the Fed meeting minutes of previous meeting, which was held in September. These meeting minutes will be very important, as we know that there are too many agreements and disagreements we had in between the members, between the FOMC members. So we're going to wait and see what exactly happened with the minutes. We can understand what's going on, what was going on actually in the meeting, that we get such a massive, or the most mixed or most impressed, we can say how I can say the worst meeting that Fed had in the past 10 years. But in the week ahead, we're going to have too much speeches from all central banks, from just beginning from the Japanese central bank, governor with coming to the United Kingdom, European, Eurozone, and United States. And not just the governor is going to have, and also we're going to have the Reserve Bank of Australia's governor speech right after the policy meeting. However, it's not just about the governors. Especially in the United States, we're going to have almost all policymakers' speech during the week, and we have to watch that very carefully. Watch them actually very carefully. However, we have to watch the President Trump's speech as well. We know he's kind of the president that his speeches usually affect the market directly, not just like many others president, because he's always talking about the economy, and these economic changes or saying something about the economy can affect the economic data and markets. Anyway, don't forget that from the week later, we're going to have the earnings reports. The fourth quarter started. We're going to have the third quarter's earnings, and they will also be very important to be watched closely. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to generally from the week ahead. I mean, we don't have too much data to watch. We have some retail sales numbers and industrial production from European countries, consumer inflation. I mean, the data that we're gonna have in the economic calendar, they wouldn't be that much important data that can directly affect the market. Checking the market, I mean, in the week ahead, the speeches will be very important, and the geopolitical tensions and also government shutdown. And also if they can conclude in some points, maybe we're going to have the NFP numbers in the week ahead. And if that, it can be important data, the most important data in the week ahead, which we can probably have. Looking at the markets, as you can see here, the VIX still moving around 17.75, showing that the much higher than 15 expected area, 15 normal or standard area, shows that the market risk is still high. That higher risk affecting the US dollar demand. Dollar index increased above, I mean, stabilizing itself above 97. And with these things going on, we probably can see the dollar index going forward towards 98 area. As in the gold chart, looking the prices, we can see with the printing new all-time high, OBV couldn't follow the trend, and that's why we can say that probably in the week ahead we can see some correction. However, especially if the peace talk in Gaza goes forward, we can see some less tensions there, and it can affect negatively the gold price. On the energy market, if you say that while the gas price is still increasing and we are still positive about the gas price, $3.85 probably will be the next week's target. On the oil front, with the weaker than expected manufacturing data, we probably can see some pressure on the oil between $6 and $62 are the targets for the week. However, don't forget we have many buy positions around $64 as well. The rig count numbers also showing that the number of the production in the United States is getting slightly higher and more, so that also can put the pressure on the oil market. On the energy on the oil price, on the stock market and equity markets, while the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and Nasdaq, all of them, they increased very rapidly on the Friday. In the last hours, they lost the momentum and closed slightly lower, and almost not just lower than the Friday open, they closed over also lower than the Thursday opening. Generally, the data shows the market condition says that we are probably can be able to see some pressure finally on the stock prices. The energy, the AI companies are the main AI stocks are the main market driver, and that's risky. We are in a risky if they can continue the trend. I mentioned several times. As long as the AI companies, the tech companies can continue their progress, they can move the market. But if something happens, say something happened for them, as the market basing right now on the tech companies and the AI stocks, if something happened for these companies, we're going to have some negative reactions from them, some negative news or some negative data from them. It can crash the market. That's why the market risk is really high. Same thing is for the Nasdaq and same thing for the Dow Jones. Don't forget, in Asia also, we had all-time highs, especially in Nikkei 2025 in Japan, and also in Korea's Kospi. And also for the Japanese, finally, we had the prime minister, the first female prime minister from right wings, Miss Takiji, selected as the first prime minister from the right wings. She was the senator from the right wings, but generally what's going on here can affect what's going on in political side, can affect the market and the BOE policies. With the prime minister from the right wings, now maybe we have less chance for the rate hike, but we have to wait and see her how can I say her economic policies. Still, we don't know anything about exactly what will be her policy about the economy. We have to wait and see. Then we can understand exactly what we can expect from the Bank of Japan in its next meeting in November. Okay, that's. Yeah, don't forget. I should go further and check about say about the cryptocurrency market as well. Bitcoin can take advantage of this mess that is going on in the stock markets and the geopolitical tensions. That was the main idea behind the last uptrend. Still taking advantage of this condition, as long as we have 118,000 saved there, we can think about 123, 125 as the next target, probably for the week ahead. But if something happened, the price comes under 118,000, the 113 can be the next target. However, now as you can see here in the charts, 113,000 now became the pivot point and pivot level for the Bitcoin price. Falling under 108, 113 can put 111 and 109 in the targets. But for now, we are still positive. That was what happened previous week and what we're expecting for the week ahead. Don't forget to read the monthly outlook also in the website. It's going to give you much more data about the October and economies and what we can expect in the month ahead. Have a good time. Bye-bye.